The notion of a new world order has been a topic of debate and speculation for decades, with various theories surrounding its potential existence and intentions. One such theory suggests that a satanic new world order is utilizing climate change propaganda to manipulate and oppress the general population. While this idea may seem far-fetched to some, it is essential to examine the available information and arguments to form a well-informed opinion. Climate change has become a dominant topic in contemporary discourse, with many governments, organizations, and individuals advocating for immediate action to mitigate its effects. However, some critics argue that the climate change narrative is being exaggerated or distorted to serve the interests of a powerful elite. This elite, often referred to as the New World Order, is thought to comprise influential individuals and groups who seek to establish a one-world government, eroding national sovereignty and individual freedoms. Proponents of this theory argue that the satanic New World Order is using climate change propaganda to create a sense of urgency and fear among the population. By exaggerating the severity of climate change and its consequences, the elite can justify the implementation of radical policies that restrict individual liberties and consolidate their power. For instance, the push for global carbon tax, the implementation of strict environmental regulations, and the promotion of sustainable development agendas can be seen as attempts to control people's behavior, limit the access to resources, and redistribute wealth. Moreover, the climate change propaganda is often linked to the idea of a global crisis that requires a unified, collective response. This narrative can be used to justify the erosion of national borders, the suppression of dissenting voices, and the establishment of a one-world government. The satanic New World Order, in this context, is seen as a force that seeks to undermine traditional values, promote a culture of fear and obedience, and ultimately establish a totalitarian regime. Another argument made by proponents of this theory is that the climate change agenda is being used to distract the population from more pressing issues such as economic inequality, government corruption, and social injustice. By focusing attention on a supposedly existential threat like climate change, the elite can divert attention away from their own nefarious activities and maintain their grip on power. This distraction can also be used to justify the implementation of draconian measures, such as population control, mandatory vaccinations, and restrictions on free speech. However, it is essential to note that the idea of a satanic New World Order using climate change propaganda to oppress the population is not supported by empirical evidence. While it is true that climate change is a complex issue with significant implications for human societies, the scientific consensus is clear: human activities, particularly the emission of greenhouse gases, are significantly contributing to global warming. The overwhelming majority of climate scientists agree that immediate action is necessary to mitigate the effects of climate change and ensure a sustainable future. In conclusion, the idea that the satanic New World Order is using climate change propaganda to oppress the population is a speculative theory that lacks concrete evidence. While it is essential to be critical of the climate change narrative and the intentions of those who promote it, it is equally important to recognize the scientific reality of climate change and its potential consequences. Rather than attributing the climate change agenda to a sinister plot, it is more productive to focus on promoting critical thinking, encouraging open debate, and supporting policies that prioritize human well-being, environmental sustainability, and social justice. By doing so, we can ensure that the response to climate change is grounded in reason, evidence, and a commitment to the common good, rather than fear, speculation, and unfounded conspiracy theories.